Now in PHP we have a function that allows us to generate a random number extremely easily, so we're going to be using that. In other languages it is slightly difficult. You do have to have some kind of mathematical formula, however basic that is, put together. In PHP we just have one function that allows us to specify the lower and upper boundary of the number, and then we just get a random number fed back. So we're going to be doing that. I'm going to be showing you how to do that, how the function works and how we call it, and how we set a or create a variable and set that value to that variable. And then we're just going to be looking at generating something a bit more useful, and we're going to be every time the user refreshes a page, we're going to be showing a dice roll. So we're going to be giving the user some text saying you rolled a, and then the number of the dice that they rolled. So we've got this file here saved out, inside this folder random number. Not really too important. As long as you've got a script up that you're able to go ahead and start to use, then that's absolutely fine. First of all, we're going to go ahead and create our PHP tags. So obviously that's important when we start here. Now the first thing that we're going to be doing is creating a variable and then assigning a value to that variable. So let's go ahead and create a variable called rand, and we need to give this a value. So this could be anything. We could have, say, like 5, 10, 20, any integer variable. PHP works in terms of, you don't have to declare the variable type. So we are going to use the function rand to generate our random number. Let's just go ahead and call this function. So I'm going to type rand, which is obviously short for random, and then 2 parentheses like this. This is where the parameters would go in here, but we're not going to specify any just for now. We're going to leave that as it is, and you'll see why in a moment. So if we open up our browser, and I'm over here in the folder that my index.php file is saved in. So if I just go ahead and press enter, you can see nothing happens at the moment. We need to go ahead and echo this variable out. So we haven't got any errors, so rand hasn't required any parameters, so we can leave it blank inside of the parentheses. I'm going to go ahead and echo rand, save that out and go back over to the browser and refresh, and you see that we get a number here. We've got 9322. If I refresh again, you can see that's got slightly larger, and you can see here that it's generating just random numbers. Now we do have an upper limit for the random number, the integer that we can give out here. So we've got an upper limit. I'm not exactly sure what that limit is, but if you go ahead to php.net, it'll probably tell you. This is generating a random number. Now suppose we want to generate a random number between a certain value. So for example, between 1 and 6. All we need to do is specify the first parameter, which is the lower limit, so I'm going to choose 1, and then the upper, or the second parameter, which is the upper, so I'm going to choose 6. So this is going to generate a random number between 1 and 6 inclusive, so it will generate a 1 at some point and a 6 at one point. So let's save that out, and we'll go ahead back over to our browser and refresh. You can see that we've got a 6, a 2, a 6, a 3, and we should get a 1 in a moment. There we go. So we're generating a random number between these two values. So as you can see, it's extremely useful and easy to use as well. We've stored it inside of this rand variable here, and then we've just echoed it out. So for example, what we could do is we could say echo, and then a string inside of here. I'm using single quotation marks. You have rolled a, and then I'm going to go a space here and use a comma to append on a value to this echo, and we're just going to say rand. So now what's going to happen is every time we refresh, it will give us this message, you have rolled a, and then it will give us the random number. So let's go ahead and preview that in our browser. You've rolled a 3, refresh, you've rolled a 5, and as soon as I keep refreshing, that value keeps changing. So that's essentially how to generate a random number in PHP. Extremely useful, and when it comes around to actually needing to do this, you don't really have to think twice. You just call this rand function with the upper or lower and upper limit.